Shota makes 2 changes to his side coming into this one. He replaces Regan Slater with Ryan Longman out wide on the right, and then Tom Eaves gets his 100th game in Hull City colours. He leads the line. Completing the team is Ingram in goal, Jones, McLaughlin and Greaves. The midfield of Longman, Smallwood, Doherty and Fleming. Honeyman, Keane, Lewis, Potter and Eaves, the most attacking trio Hull City field this afternoon. Completing the bench for the Tigers is Harvey Cartwright, Callum Elder, Alias Syed Benesh, Tom Huddleston, Dishon Bernard, Regan Slater and Marcus Force. Here at St Andrews Stadium in the second city of England. Who's going to be second best today and who is going to come out on top, as McLaughlin has fired a ball over the top behind the back line. Keane Lewis Potter is onside, takes a couple of touches, has a shot at goal as the angle was narrowing from the left side of the penalty area. Almost a flip reversal of circumstances. Birmingham scored very early on against Bristol City in similar fashion. Hull City winning the ball halfway up the park, playing the ball over the top of the defensive line, and Keane Lewis Potter's first opportunity of the game produces a smart save from Neil Everidge, who's kept clean sheets in both outings against Hull City before. A battle in the air between Greaves and the Birmingham City defence as Fleming now looks to keep it in at the touchline. He's going to scamper around Jordan Graham into the penalty area. A low ball into the box, bobbles around and eventually comes into the hands of Neil Everidge in the 6-yard box. Pretty chaotic start then for Birmingham City's organisation and their defensive structure. Hull City with a couple of very early chances just to set the mood and the tone for what they want this afternoon. Jones's header back towards the final third. Honeyman now to Doherty, takes a quick touch and thinks about playing the ball through the air over towards Longman. Smallwood, without looking, picks out Fleming, who was obviously barking loudly. Fleming's through ball now to Keane Lewis Potter. Will turn back from Graham, who slides on the ground into Greaves in the penalty area. Keane Lewis Potter, Doherty takes it on with a little ricochet on the way through, and that hits the side netting and goes behind for a corner kick. But Hull City, that was a good chance, and the Scotsman Greg Doherty, who's still seeking his first goal of the season, deciding to take it on from 20 yards. Hands on his head in disappointment. But Keane Lewis Potter certainly in these early stages seems to be getting a lot of joy against Jordan Graham, who, as I alluded to earlier, is not necessarily an out-and-out right-back. He has got that attacking-minded presence about him to get up the pitch. But he's just having a little bit of trouble on this right-hand side. Keane Lewis Potter will look to step infield away from him, and he plays it square over to Honeyman. First time little side ball. Can Eaves get there? He almost arrived in time, but that's a very good tackle in the 6-yard box from Roberts. He's not happy with those around him because he feels, of course, that cross should never have been played in the first place. But Tom Eaves almost giving Hull City the lead. Everidge under a brief moment of pressure. This time the long ball forward is met by Taylor. Honeyman tries to nip in and intercept from Sunčić, who is strong and is able to keep the ball in Blues possession. Hernandez, that's a very neat spin away from Ryan Longman, and he ignites the pace into the penalty area left hand side, takes it on, and is then, his shot clatters into Sean McLaughlin's face. He's up on his feet, just brushes his cheek as he now has to defend for Jordan Graham's corner from the left hand side, met by Gardner and then flicked by Taylor, and Ingram has to scamper and get a reflex save in just to push the ball away from his goal line. That is the closest that either team have come. Throw-in quickly taken by Birmingham as Keane Lewis Potter protests. Bakuna whacked away by Doherty from the left side of the penalty area. Keane Lewis Potter and Gardner collide again, and then Gary Gardner and Keane Lewis Potter come towards each other. Brandon Fleming then pushes Bakuna as tempers just fray a little bit. Minimal contact between Keane Lewis Potter and Gary Gardner, but the captain gets right in the face of Keane Lewis Potter. The replay will show the chance first, which Gardner created. Taylor able to flick it, and Ingram getting his right hand to the ball just to push it away. but the manner in which it arrived at him, he could only sort of beat the ball to his right-hand side, and then it was hooked away by the Tigers. Keane Lewis Potter with a quick throw in, and Longman will play it back to Keane Lewis Potter. There's 4 waiting in the box, but he's got no crossing angle. Longman on this right-hand side will deliver, headed away smartly by Roberts. Hernandez and Alfie Jones battle away whilst the ball bounces in front of him. Jones's header was met by Woods, now gathered by McLaughlin inside the Birmingham City half. Nicely threaded through by McLaughlin on the right. Honeyman, low ball into Eaves, takes a touch, and then he cannot turn the ball goalward. Should he have taken the shot on and committed and gambled on his own ability? Did he need to take a touch there? He should have trusted his left foot. It's a brilliant ball in, and Eaves opted to take the touch. If he gets the slightest contact with his left foot, that might have just glanced over to the left-hand corner if it wasn't a full connection. Hull City continuing to be frustrating for Birmingham, and frustrating the temper of Shota Ravalazzi, who that time was venting his frustration towards Greg Doherty, who of course had all the admiration in the world for him in the pre-match, mentioning how of course as a child he was a season ticket holder for Rangers and saw him play his trade. Hull City now coming forward, Fleming with a bit of space on that left-hand side as Graham now comes over. A through ball to Greaves! Greaves was the one getting into the area, and Everidge is forced into a save. The centre-half taking up the centre-forwards role, and Everidge managing to pour it away to his right-hand side. Jacob Greaves in a perfect position to score. Birmingham City notoriously travel well on their away days, but here today they've been pretty quiet. They might be on their feet in a minute as Taylor latches onto a little lapse in concentration from McLaughlin, and on the edge of the area he took the shot on, but the Irishman got in the way again. Gardner to Hernandez, left side of the penalty area, just outside it, looking to round Longman. He's done that with a little cutback now to Taylor. Hull City have got a man in the way, and Doherty just again clearing his lines, making sure Hull City can get out before Birmingham come back at them. Gardner retrieves just inside Hull City's half, and he has it again, and he's picked out Taylor. Flag is up on the far side. The vast majority of those in the block next to me up in arms of frustration, feeling that Taylor was level. It's with Chong, right-hand side, looking to cut in away from Brandon Fleming. He got away from him, but he didn't get away from Smallwood. Keane Lewis Potter with a bit of a tired touch maybe on that far side. Was waiting for someone to come and help him. Taylor holding it up towards Chong. Pedersen, 30 yards out, fought about it for a moment. Now plays it wide to Hernandez. Hernandez out wide. It's Pedersen. Pedersen, that took a little touch on the way through. Will be a corner. Referee was waiting for the opinion of the linesman. Hull City had plenty back behind the ball again. Not really presenting big opportunities. Shota Ravalazzi in conversation with Tony Pennock, just pondering how they can change things in the last few minutes as the ball runs through to Everidge as Hull City tried to clear it away. Keane Lewis Potter was the one trying to get onto the ball. Roberts across to Pedersen, nice little move inside away from Ryan Longman, who was committed. Pedersen moves forward to Hernandez on the left. Hernandez now tiptoeing towards the penalty area, playing at wing back today but has that attacking flair. Out to Woods, takes it on from 25 yards plus, and it slices away from goal and out of play for a goal kick. Hernandez with the game opening up on that left hand side seems to be getting some joy now, and Hull City may just have to be a little bit wary. Found his teammate from the bench, Ryan Woods. Pedersen into Hernandez. Overlap is Pedersen again. His delivery is to the back of the penalty area. Chong looking to get underneath it. He manages to bring it down, and his shot though is into the hands of Matt Ingram, as Brandon Fleming that time just wobbled for the first time defensively, even though he's been a very assured part of the jigsaw defensively.